John, we've just signed Greg Tansey up for another 2 years of contract extension, keeping him at the club until 2017. I suppose you and the rest of the supporters are delighted with that news.
Yeah, he's one that epitomises most of the stuff that we're trying to do at the football club in terms of being a right good footballer, getting on the ball, taking responsibility, fantastic rangy passing. And his profile was going up, so other teams were starting to notice they're getting closer to him because he's the one that gets us started. He's at an age now also where he's starting to take that responsibility and he's starting to become a leader. And he's a good inspiration, especially on the training pitch. He really trains really well and he's just a fantastic lad to be working with. I still believe that he's still got a lot of learning and education in his game, and hopefully we can make him a better player.
You brought him back to the club almost a year ago, and in his second spell here it looks like he's matured a little bit as well, and he's become a much better footballer, which can only benefit the club.
Yeah, certainly, so that's all his responsibility, and it maybe have been his time in England down at Stevenage, maybe gave him that enthusiasm just to get going again, because you know there must be some team down at Stevenage for Greg not to get a game because he's a real good footballer, and it's just nursing him properly. But everyone to their own, I don't knock that. I'm just delighted that we could get him here. But you know, I was aware of Greg Tansey his first time around at Inverness, and as you say, when he's come back the second time, everyone that's knew him from the first time says he's come back a better player. He's at 26, he's 26, so he's at an age where the penny's dropping, and that manic, playing football manic and 100 miles an hour, you know, is probably 26 where you just slow yourself down and you see the game different. And as I say, that's probably where Greg's at right at this moment in time, and is a great role model for any of the younger ones in the dressing room, the way he trains, the way he conducts himself, and absolutely delighted to tie him up at the club. One thing I will say, I'm just hoping that you know, it inspires the rest of them to say, you know, I'm going to commit to Inverness. It's, you know, we don't bang the drum saying we're the most glamorous club in Scottish football, but one thing I will say is it's a great environment to be in. Absolutely fantastic environment, great spirit amongst them, great city. Reminds me so much of my days as a player away back at Falkirk, and the spirit that we had in that dressing room and the style of football. You know, if you're a footballer, you want to play football, you want to pass the ball, you want to get on it, and that's the demands that we put on them. And if you want to educate yourself and become a real better footballer, then take the responsibility for being that kind of player, because it'll only help you. And absolutely delighted that Greg's signed his deal, and as I say, you know, hopefully one or two will follow suit.
Yeah, it's a great start. 4 days into the year to have, or 5 days into the year to have Greg Tansey signed up. But the start, football wise as well, 2 wins with County and St Mirren, and it's a great kind of launch pad for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and we're looking at, now we're coming back into the second half of the season, we're looking at that, and if we can have, second half could be as good as the first half, will be there or thereabouts, but it doesn't work like that. Second half, a lot of teams are playing, it's whole different emotions in terms of teams fighting for their life, teams trying to get in the top 6, teams going for titles, so you have to be able to handle that kind of emotion. Also, you know, we want to try and emulate what we did last year and go one better, so you have to be able to handle that as well. You know, the lofty heights, you know, keep yourself cool, calm, collected, just concentrate on the process, and 9 times out of 10 it takes care of itself. And you know, but all credit to the players for everything that they've gave me since I've come to the club. You know, just their being open-minded to what we're trying to do, taking it on board, embracing it, endorsing it, taking ownership of it, encouraging each other. And I think that if you look at the season up until now, that's been evident that we've played some really good stuff, and it makes me proud to be a manager of Inverness. And you know, hopefully we can, as I say, get the rest of them tied up, and if no, bring a quality a player to the club that the supporters can identify with, but a players to the club that also that dressing room saying, is that the quality player that we're bringing to the club? Because it's competition for places and you just keep raising the bar. One thing I will say this time of the year also is we're desperate to try and get the boys tied up, and that is our number one remit, but also gives you the opportunity to try and bring one or two in. That may happen, we'd have to spin the plates to make that happen, but you know, looking at the game last night against St Mirren, you've got sitting on the bench, we've got James Vincent, Danny Devine, Draper, Danny Williams, all these guys, you know, three of them come on. Nick Ross had a fantastic game, played up there. Marley sitting in his, picked up that wee injury. So we've got good competition for places, and it's just getting the balance right to, and hopefully keep them injury free, that we can utilise that properly and just keep them on their toes to keep getting results, make sure they stay in the team. And that's what I'd rather do. I'd rather give all these guys a chance before we go doing bringing guys in that, you know, just might not fit the bill. So we have to be very careful in what we're doing.
You could have also one big January arrival coming back in the next couple of weeks, Richie Foran.
Yeah, he's worked ever so hard, and honestly I really feel for him, because I've been in that position, I really have, and you know, coming back from injury and getting there and just getting a wee setback, and I suppose coming back for injuries, it's setbacks that you have to get, and that they're just hurdles that you have to overcome. I've never been coming back for a long-term injury where it's just been plain sailing. You know, you always get that wee stumble, and then you have to go back and come again, and before you know it, you're back playing training and back playing games, and hopefully, as I say, in the next month, Richie's back there. I'm reluctant to put any time scale on Richie, you know, because just let him do his stuff, you know, because it's not just, there's a real, you have to, the kind of guy Richie is and what he gives and his heart on his sleeve and what he gives to the football club, you have to look after his mental mindset as well, you know, because being injured and the club doing it, he'll be desperate to be part of that, you know, and he'll be hurting. So you just have to make sure that, you know, you take that into account as well, and sometimes just, Richie, you know, for yourself. So it's not just the physical aspect of getting back fit. You have to make sure that you're looking after his well-being and the mental mindset, and just being there for support, but not pushing him too much. But listen, fingers crossed we'll have Richie back sooner rather than later.